Imagine being a defender. You have 90 minutes to stop one player. He's faster than you, he's stronger than you, he's taller than you, and somehow he always seems to be in the right place at the right time. You think you finally stopped him, and then 1 second later, boom, the ball is in the back of the net. This is Erling Haaland, a player who doesn't just score goals, he destroys records. And at just 25 years old, the biggest question isn't how good Haaland is today. The question is, how far can this monster actually go? Long before the Premier League, before Manchester City, before the Champions League nights, there was a young Norwegian kid with an extraordinary dream. Erling Haaland was born in Leeds in England, but grew up in Norway, and football was already in his blood. His father, Alfie Haaland, was a professional footballer who played in the Premier League. So Erling grew up surrounded by football. But even as a kid, there was something different about him. He wasn't just big, he wasn't just strong, he had an obsession with scoring. And that obsession would eventually take him from Norway to Austria and then to Germany. But that's where the world really started paying attention. In 2020, Haaland joined Borussia Dortmund, and almost immediately the football world went crazy. He wasn't supposed to be this good, not this young, not this quickly. Haaland didn't need time to adapt. He just started scoring again and again and again. He became one of the most feared strikers in European football. But what made him so dangerous? It's not just his finishing, it's the combination. The speed, the strength, the movement, the left foot, the positioning, and perhaps most importantly, his mentality. Haaland plays like every single chance is an opportunity to destroy you. Give him one chance, he might score. Give him two, you're probably finished. And then came the Champions League, the biggest stage in club football, and Haaland didn't look scared. He looked hungry. He scored goal after goal, and suddenly the biggest clubs in the world wanted him. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester City. Everyone wanted a Norwegian goal machine, but in the end, there was only one destination. In the summer of 2022, Erling Haaland became a Manchester City player, and the expectations were enormous because City already had one of the best teams in the world. They had Pep Guardiola, they had Kevin De Bruyne, they had world-class players everywhere. But there was one thing they didn't have, a striker like Haaland, and the combination was terrifying. Pep Guardiola had built one of the most dominant teams in modern football, and now he had a monster in the box. Haaland's first Premier League season was unbelievable. He scored and scored and scored. He broke records. He won the Premier League Golden Boot, and he became one of the most feared players in England. But Haaland wasn't finished, because Manchester City had something even bigger in mind, the Champions League. And in the 2022-23 season, everything came together. Manchester City won the Premier League, they won the FA Cup, and then they reached the Champions League final. One game, one trophy, one chance to make history. And when the final whistle went, Manchester City were champions of Europe. They had completed the treble, and Erling Haaland had become a Champions League winner. His first season in England, and already he had conquered Europe. But here's the crazy part. Haaland isn't just a great striker. He's a completely different type of striker. Look at his physical abilities. He's incredibly tall, but he moves like a player much smaller than him. He can sprint past defenders. He can overpower them. And when he gets into the box, his movement is almost impossible to predict. But there's something even more important, his mentality. Haaland doesn't seem satisfied. Even after scoring 2 goals, he wants 3. After 3, he wants 4. He doesn't celebrate like someone who has finished the job. He celebrates like someone who has just started. And perhaps that's why he keeps improving, because he doesn't seem to believe he has reached his limits. And then we have the records. Haaland has been breaking records at a ridiculous speed. He became the fastest player to reach major scoring milestones in the Premier League. He has scored at an incredible rate in the Champions League, and he has already scored more goals than many legendary strikers managed in their entire careers. But the most frightening thing, he is still incredibly young. Most legendary strikers reach their absolute peak somewhere in the late 20s or early 30s. Haaland is already producing numbers that look like video game statistics. So imagine what happens if he stays healthy, if he keeps improving, and if he plays at this level for another 5, 10, maybe even 15 years. We could be watching the beginning of one of the greatest goal-scoring careers football has ever seen. But there's still one thing missing. The biggest prize of them all, the World Cup. Haaland has conquered club football. He has won trophies. He has broken records. He has scored against the best teams in the world. But Norway has not been a regular at the biggest international tournaments. And that means Haaland has a challenge that no amount of club trophies can completely replace. Can he lead Norway to the World Cup? Can he become the face of a football generation? Can he one day be mentioned alongside the greatest players in history, Messi, Ronaldo, and perhaps one day Haaland? Only time will tell. One thing is certain, Erling Haaland is not normal. He doesn't play like a normal striker. He doesn't score normal goals, and he certainly doesn't break normal records. He's a player built for one thing, to score, to win, and to make history. And maybe we are still watching the beginning. Because if Erling Haaland can stay healthy, if he continues to improve, and if he keeps the same hunger, then one day, when we look back at his career, we might realize something. We weren't watching a great striker, we were watching a football phenomenon. And the scariest part, he's not finished yet.